Hello. Sorry, my throat's kind of bothering me because I've been talking all day. So bear with me if I clear my throat. But per usual, I want to make sure that it's working. I'm assuming it's working, but I always just like making sure that it's working. Okay, there we go. Featuring me hearing myself on my app. Welcome to Reading Sprints. I'm officially in my new location. I'm in my apartment that we moved to, and yeah, it's exciting to have a new background. It's actually kind of a prettier background in here. It's not amazing yet. We haven't put any pictures up on the wall or anything. But yeah, I actually am not just in my little corner chair anymore. I'm actually at my desk, which is really nice. Yeah, so it feels good to be in a new location. I think I'm going to invest in a little better of a webcam just because the camera quality on my MacBook is not great. I'm not going to spend like a ton of money on it because it is live streaming. But yeah, I think I'm just going to upgrade a little bit. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll have a little bit better quality. One thing about this apartment though is the lighting in here is a little weird. So I haven't filmed any YouTube videos. Actually, scratch that. I filmed one YouTube video. I'll talk more about the lighting in a second. I want to greet you all. Good evening. Hey. Hello. Hi. Thank you all for joining. Hello. Excited to join. I'm excited to have you here. Yay. Yeah. So the lighting here is kind of odd. Obviously you can see, so it's a studio apartment and there's kind of that cutout back there. And so our bedroom is like separated by this wall, but it's not a full wall, obviously. So you can see that's actually the light in our bedroom. But in the living room out here in the kitchen, there's no like lights on the ceiling. And so my reading area is over here. I'll kind of turn it a little bit. You can see over there, that's where like my bookshelf is and everything. And I want to film over there, but the lighting is weird. So I have to kind of mess around with it and figure out, you know, what I'm going to do. But anyway, I'm really excited to be in a new place. The last two sprints I was over at my parents' house in their basement, which I love my parents, but I like being in my own space. So that's the deal about my house. Hey, co-host, I'm so excited. So there's an Enneagram-a-thon coming up, and it has a ton of hosts. I believe there's 19 hosts. And if you're not familiar with the Enneagram, it's like a personality test. And basically both Darian and I are 6s on the Enneagram. So if anybody who's watching is either participating in that readathon or wants to know anything about it, go check out my announcement video, go check out Darian's, go check out everyone's. It's really exciting and I'm really excited for it. It's happening right away in August and it's the first 2 weeks. And I've always been really into the Enneagram. I've kind of not looked into it as much over the past year, but there was a point in my life, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, where I would just go down the rabbit hole of learning as much as possible about the Enneagram. It's a really interesting personality test. It's a little bit different than others. It goes into kind of like, what's your basic motivation? What are your basic fears? That's something that sets people apart. And it's super interesting. So I would highly recommend A, looking into the Enneagram, B, participating in the readathon. It's going to be so fun. And yeah, I'm just really excited. So yes, please go check out all the announcement information. Thank you so much. Oops, sorry, it jumped. Hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Haven't seen the videos yet. I have too many videos on backlog. Yeah, I talked about this last sprint. I think I have like something ridiculous, like 300 videos in my watch later, it's ridiculous. I need to weed that down. And honestly, a lot of the videos in there I have watched. I've just been too lazy to take off the watch later list. So I think we're all in the same boat of just being kind of behind on YouTube. It's so easy to get behind and it's okay. And yeah, but I would love if you watch them. Hi, thanks for hosting this readathon. I needed the push to get to the last book on my TBR. Well, it's not just me hosting it, but thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of people hosting it because there's 9 different types on the Enneagram. So there's 2 hosts per number, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm super excited. I love the Enneagram. I could honestly talk about the Enneagram for a very long time. Yeah, I love the Enneagram. I think this may be controversial, so buckle up, but I honestly think it's one of the most accurate personality tests because it's very much, you have your number, but there's a lot of variance even within a number, whereas other personality tests can sometimes be a little binding, like this is my personality type, but wait, what about these other characteristics that aren't accounted for in my personality type? Whereas the Enneagram is a little bit more fluid because you have your number that you go to when you are in health and when you are in stress. And also everybody has characteristics of every number on the Enneagram. It's just what mostly resonates with you. So yeah, it's super interesting. Love the Enneagram. I'm participating in the readathon, me making up words. I'm a number 9. Nice. My brother is a 9. One of my really good friends is a 9 as well. I'm a type 2, love 2s, love 9s. 9s and 2s I get along with really, really well. I'm a 6. I'm a loyalist, and 9s are the peacemaker, and 2s are the helper, I think. There's some other words that the different numbers go by, but those are the numbers, or those are the names for the numbers that I first learned. So I'm so excited for the readathon. I'm a 6 too. Yes, I love seeing fellow 6s. I just feel like when I know someone's a 6, I know we sort of process our information at least similarly or have a lot in common, which is really exciting for me because if you didn't know, 6s on the Enneagram can be quite anxious. And sometimes, struggling with anxiety can be very, you feel alone. So it's cool to see other people who maybe process information the same way. With saying that 6s are anxious, obviously it's a spectrum, and obviously other numbers can have anxiety. So again, the Enneagram is not a limiting thing. It's not oh, I'm this number, I'm boxed into this one thing. So yeah, I love it. You definitely know more about the Enneagram than I do. Hee. I will learn a lot from you. I am no expert. Again, not an expert. I'm really into it. And also I haven't gotten as into it recently. I got more into it 2 years ago and learned a lot about it. So yeah, there is this podcast called Enneagram for Idiots. I recommend it. It's really funny. I don't know if they're still doing it. Let me look and see. But it's really funny. It's these 2 best friends. And it's funny, but also super deep at the same time, which is my favorite kind of category. Let me see. Oh, they're still doing episodes. So they're really far into stuff that I forgot about, self-preservation stuff. Don't worry if you don't know what that is. I don't even fully understand it all. But if you go back to their beginning episodes, they kind of introduce the types. They do funny things where they'll talk about celebrities and try to figure out what their Enneagram number is. And just their relationship and their friendship is so funny. They're just such good hosts together. And yeah, I absolutely loved listening to that podcast, especially when I was driving. I drove to Dallas a lot a couple years ago. Not from Wisconsin, but from Waco, which is where I was a couple months ago. Hello, I'm walking and listening to an audiobook. Very awesome. 300 videos in your watch later. I have 2,700. Oh my God. It's okay. I'm sure I'll get there one day. I'm sure I will. I'm going to go check the readathon videos. I know I'm a 4, no idea what wing. Yeah, wings, I've heard conflicting ideas on wings. The way I learned wings is that your wing is either, so for example, I'm a 6, so I could have a 7 wing or a 5 wing. I've heard other people say that you can have wings that are totally not even related to your number, like don't straddle your number. That's a little confusing to me though, because of just how I was introduced to wings. So I don't know. I don't know what's like right. I don't know if things have changed with the Enneagram. But yeah, wings are very interesting. And again, someone could be a 6 with a 5 wing and look totally different than someone who's a 6 with a 7 wing. Yeah, it's so interesting. I love it. I have 277 unwatched videos and it stresses me out. Yeah, for some reason when I started YouTube, I like didn't really put things into my watch later. I don't know why. And then I realized, oh my gosh, why am I not doing this? I'm forgetting about a ton of videos that I want to see. And so now it's just become a disaster. So what are you reading tonight? I am hopefully finishing Ace of Spades. I know I was reading this at least for the last sprint. I think the last sprint. I have some thoughts that are non-spoilery on this. I'll try to get to the first sprint in like 3 minutes. That way I don't talk forever like I usually do in the beginning. But this book is really long and it's feeling a little long to me. And I hate that I'm saying that because I heard a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's long, but it doesn't feel long. I do know that Gabby Reeds did kind of talk about how it felt a little long, but it's like 422 pages. And I'm on 337. So I'm really hoping to finish it. I'm not a super fast reader, but I should be able to finish it in a few sprints. But yeah, I'm reading Ace of Spades. I like it. But again, I feel like a lot could have been cut out from it. And so I don't know what I'm going to rate it. Maybe like 3.5 stars. We'll see. I'm a little bummed. I was like expecting for this to be a 5-star read for me. But yeah, I don't know. Share what you're reading. Everybody in the comments, let me know what you're reading or what you'll be doing tonight. My husband is a 6. He hates to read, but I still had him take the test because I was curious. That's interesting. Yeah, again, not all 6s, like to read. Don't worry, I'm very stressed. I think I'm a wing 5, but maybe you can confirm that for me one day. Yeah, wings are confusing too. You can kind of alternate between your wings throughout your life too. Like you can gravitate towards one side or the other. I used to gravitate much more to 7, which is like the spontaneous, fun, like adventure-seeking side. And now I'm definitely more towards like the 5, which is like the intellectual, like introverted more, which makes a lot of sense because I love reading. Yeah. Oh, yes, I know that channel. I think I found it through Books and Lala, who did a bookish Enneagram video last year. I think she did. I'm reading The Caro Haunt by Darcy Coates. It's a 5-star for me. Ooh, I love that. I still need to read Darcy Coates. I'm reading Yolk. Yolk or Yolk? I still don't know how to say this. I think it's Yolk, but I always want to pronounce the L. I'm probably wrong. I'm reading Remains by Andrew Call. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'm going to be reading Dune. Very excited to start it. Ooh, that's a beast of a book. It's huge. Good luck. I hope you love it, though. It's a classic. Currently reading Still Missing by Chevy Stevens and loving it. Would love to finish it tonight if possible. That's awesome. I have not picked up a Chevy Stevens, and I think, is that the one with the girl with her hair like flying on the cover? Am I making sense? I think it is, maybe. For now, I'm listening to Wizard of London by Mercedes Lakey. And when I get back home, I'm still reading On Birthday. Still editing, but I'm almost done. It's an hour-long video, and I'm hoping to cut it down a bit. I hope I can get it uploaded tonight or tomorrow AM. I'll be reading The Dragon Republic during export. Cool. Well, good luck. Okay. I think I'm going to pull up classroom screen and start our sprint. Welcome back. I totally was not as productive as I was hoping during that reading sprint, but I kept getting distracted by things. First of all, I opened a thing of Sprite and it went spraying across my whole kitchen, like everywhere. And so I like flung it in the sink. So that was fun. Surprisingly, I didn't get wet, but that happened. There was like rabbits outside my window, like jumping around over each other, and it was really cute. There was like birds. My husband came home from his like break. It was just like a lot just happened. So I read a little bit, but the next sprint, I'm sure I will be much more productive during. I don't even remember how many pages I read. Probably not that many at all, but yeah, here we are. So let me go back and catch up on the comments. I think I left off here. I'm reading Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Nice. I hope you like it. I am reading Ace of Spades. I am on page 358. So yeah. Thoughts on Ace of Spades? I already shared this earlier, but I feel like it's a little too long. I really like the concept of the book, but I just feel like 100 pages could have been taken off from it. I don't know. I guess I like my books to be, I don't know page number, but usually like 300 something pages. And this is like over 400 pages. So I don't know. Something about it is just feeling a little bit too long, which is disappointing because especially in the beginning of this book, I was really, really, really intrigued, but I don't know. I think you're thinking of her newest release, Dark Roads. Oh yeah, which is really good, but still missing is her debut. I really need to try out some of her writing, some of her books. Hey, welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm reading Exposed by Kristen Callahan and only have 89% left. Nice. I just saw this on Punker's Fiction Reads Instagram story. I'm reading The Maidens, Love Remains by Andrew Call. Thank you for coming over here from her story. I loved The Maidens. I gave it 4.5 stars. And I feel like I'm one of those people who liked it more than others. I don't know. I feel like I've heard from a lot of people that they were a little bit disappointed. But I really liked it, and I think it's because I love academic settings and kind of dark academia is becoming my thing. I love They Never Learn, and I love the campus setting. I love The Maidens in the setting. I need to read some more thrillers that take place in academic settings because I think it's my thing. Made it semi-early to one of these finally. Hey, thanks for coming. I showed up a little late, but I managed to read 20 pages in that sprint. Much better than I did. That's awesome. Hey, I just got here hoping to finish Sleeping Giant tonight. I'm hoping to finish this book as well because I really want to. I've been reading it for too long. I really have barely been able to read this month because I've been so busy. I just watched the announcement videos and did not edit except for the last 5 minutes. Well, thank you for going and watching the announcement videos. That's for the Enneagramathon. A little bit of a tongue twister, but yes. Oh no, Ace of Spades is my favorite book of the year. I know. And I was like, I thought it would be a 5-star read for me. I don't know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm kind of bummed. I'm still liking it. Like, it's a good read. Another thing with me too is like YA is usually not my thing. Like, I struggle a little bit with YA. There are some exceptions, but I definitely gravitate towards books that are not YA. How are you liking it? It's one of the books that got me back into reading. And the author is from, how are you liking it? Is this for... Oh, Sleeping Giant. At first, I thought you meant Ace of Spades. Sorry. That took me way too long to figure out. I read 25 pages and I'm hooked. Andrew Cole's writing is amazing. That's awesome. I love that for you. From MTL, which I love because I'm from Quebec. That's awesome. I would love to visit Quebec at some point. I feel the same way about books being too long. Something about going over 350 pages will make me feel like it's too long. Yes, 100%. I like my books to be in like the 250, 350 range. After that, it's just hard for me, which once again, have taken a long break from reading it. Why do you think that is? Probably because it's over 1,000 pages and I just like can't wrap my mind around that. And I have this weird like anxiety over reading it, which I just need to get over because I was enjoying it and I was looking forward to it. I started it at a time that I thought would be good, which is right before I moved. Turns out I did not have enough capacity to like stay awake through a long car trip and like listen to it. So I didn't barely get any listening. And then I had to like do all my moving stuff and it just didn't work out the way I wanted. So yeah. I'm from Quebec too. That is so cool. I didn't read The Silent Patient, but this setting and story sounded super cool to me. Love the university setting. Yeah, I love the university setting. If you haven't, you should read They Never Learn. It is so good. I think it's my favorite book I've read this whole year, which it's just so good. Oh, by the way, also, I did like The Silent Patient, but I like The Maidens more. And I think it was just because of the atmosphere. I love The Maidens, and the tie with The Silent Patient was everything. Yes, there's a tie between the two books, and it was so good. I love that. I wish Riley Sager did this with his books. I think it would be really cool if there was like more ties between the books. I could be missing. Maybe there are some ties between the books. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe there are ties, but the one that Alex Michaelides did was very, very obvious. If you've read both the books, it is amazing. I love it. So cool. It's a small world. It's a super weird book, but have you read Bunny by Mona Awad? Has a college setting, dark and weird. Okay, I need to read Bunny. I'm a little intimidated because I know so many people either love it or hate it because it's so bizarre, but I may honestly like it. I don't know. Every time I hear somebody talk about Bunny, I'm very intrigued. So yes, I want to read Bunny. I haven't yet, but I do want to read it. Ooh, I'm so excited for Enneagramathon. Me too. Glad you're loving it. It is a brick. It honestly is. It is so freaking intimidating. And the fact that Stephen King wrote it makes it feel long. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a very descriptive author, and more than anything, he writes his books character-driven, and that's not so much what I'm used to reading. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just intimidating. And again, I was enjoying it, and I read, like, I want to grab it over there. I'll grab it and see how far I got. I got, like, a decent way in. Not really. It was, like, only 10% or something. But, you know, a decent way in a normal book. I have read too many fantasy reads, so I feel like I like them longer than shorter. That makes a lot of sense. See, I'm the opposite. I don't read fantasy, and so it's not in my comfort zone. I suggest the audiobook for it because the narrator is amazing. Yes, I was listening to the audiobook, and the narrator really is amazing. I was following along, which was really fun. So yes, I agree. They Never Learn is on my list. The list is super long, but I will eventually get there. Please put it at the top of your list. Honestly, it's such a fun book. It was so fun. I flew through that book. I get the like never-ending TBR, but so fun. It's such a fun book. Just bought the first Game of Thrones book, but on my reader because it was $3.99. I opened it and it says 1,800. It says 1,808. I always like. Whenever I'm trying to read off numbers, I read them weirdly. Yeah, that's so many. That's a lot of pages. I didn't love The Silent Patient, but I have a feeling I'll like The Maidens more. Yeah, I like The Silent Patient. I thought the writing was its strong suit. Like, I really loved the writing style. I'm trying to think back to I think I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I didn't love it as much as a ton of people. A ton of people gave it 5 stars. I did not think it was a 5-star read in my opinion. The Maidens, though, like the setting was honestly half the reason I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a little slow in the beginning, but yeah, I think you'll like the Maidens more than the Silent Patient. Its location is just such a strong suit. Same Girl, I Wish Riley Did It. I was watching a live with him and someone asked if any of his books have ties in, and he said no. I know. I feel like Riley Sager could seriously make so many ties with his books, and it's like, why don't you? You totally could. I didn't hate Bunny, but it was just a little too weird. I didn't love how all over the place I felt while reading it. Yeah, see, that may be me reading Bunny. I'm definitely going to try it, though, because I've just heard too much about Bunny. I feel like it's an experience I need to have. I know Stephen King is an icon or whatever, but so many of his books are just not for me. I feel the same about Stephen King. Most of his books I'm not that interested in. There are a few that I really want to read and have wanted to read. So far, I've read a lot of the books of his that I actually really wanted to read. So I really wanted to read The Shining. That's probably my favorite book by him. Possibly It will be, but so far The Shining is my favorite. Love it way more than the movie. Unpopular opinion, possibly. The movie is a great movie, but it's a totally different story, so I can't even compare the two. Yeah, so I read The Shining. I read Salem's Lot. I read Misery. A while ago, I read The Long Walk, which was actually very, very good. And he published it under a pen name, Richard Bachman. But The Long Walk it's The Long Walk. It's really, really good. Gerald's Game is really, really good. What other ones have I read by him? Is that it? Yeah, the last one on my list that I 100% wanted to get to was It. I kind of want to read his short story collection, Night Shift, too. Yeah, those are my main ones that I've wanted to read. If you like Shakespeare, I suggest If We Were Villains, because it's a conservatory setting, focus on theater. It is one of my all-time favorite books, so I'm biased, but it is amazing. I liked Shakespeare. I never was obsessed with Shakespeare, but that sounds like a really good book. Theater and conservatory, I think I would really like that one. Mona Awad's new book is Shakespeare, possibly also university based, and sounds neat. Cool. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars too. I really enjoyed it, but I feel like everyone hyped it up too much for me. I think, The Silent Patient was kind of overhyped in my opinion. Once again, though, I feel bad saying that because I really loved his writing style. I think it was just the writing style was so immersive and I really, really, really wanted to know what was going on. But when I got to the twist, it wasn't one of those twist reactions where my mind is blown, if that makes sense. I didn't see it coming, but I wasn't oh my gosh, that's the best twist I ever read, which is what I feel like a lot of people said. Have you heard of Madame? It just came out and has the dark academic settings. No, but I need to check it out. I love The Long Walk and Misery. Loved The Long Walk. I feel like everyone needs to read that. Misery, I was a little, and this is unpopular, I didn't really like Misery, and I can go more into it in the next sprint. But I prefer the movie greatly to the book. And part of it was just because I could not stand the chapters that were from the chapters of the book he was writing. I just did not care about that story at all. Did you like Salem's Lot? I finished it yesterday and gave it 2 stars. I liked it. I really did like it. I had to literally write out a whole list of all the characters though, because there were so many. It was such it was a really good experience. And the whole atmosphere was I really enjoyed the atmosphere, and I read it around Halloween. I read it while it was raining and I had my candle and it was so spooky and I love that. But I get being a little underwhelmed if you have an expectation for just the story alone to be amazing. All right, I'm going to have to go off camera for a second. But I'm going to start the next sprint and I will pick up talking about these books because I love talking about Stephen King, actually, because I feel like a lot of really interesting conversations come up when talking about Stephen King. He's a very, I don't want to say controversial figure, but a lot of people have strong opinions. So, yeah. Hello, welcome back. I didn't get to read that sprint either, so I'm definitely going to be doing a few more sprints tonight. My family actually stopped by because now I live really close to my family, so that's why I had to run. But I'm back and I'm ready to read a ton on my next two sprints because this book is picking up. We are getting towards the climax. I need to know what's going to happen. So yeah. Also, I feel like all of a sudden it got so dark outside. Let's see though. Let me know how much you read. And if you're enjoying what you're reading, update me on all of that. Back to the Stephen King conversation though. Nightmares and Dreamscapes is a really good short story collection of his as well. I feel like I may own this. I can't see from where I am. I won this like Stephen King book giveaway. And so I got some like vintage Stephen King book covers, obviously books as well. And I can't remember if I own this one, but I will have to check that out for sure. I read my first King last month, which was The Body, after trying and failing to read him before. Love his stories, but I don't think the actual sentence level writing is for me. Yeah, I 100% agree. First of all, that is a very good story. I have not actually read it, but I have seen Stand By Me, which is based off of The Body. I watched Stand By Me when I was in middle school, and it was like a really good time to watch it. It's a good age to watch that, I feel like. It's a really good movie. So I'm sure that the story was really good. I listened to almost all of his books on audio because of that. Yes. I listened to The Body on audiobook. I don't think I would have made it through in print. Yeah, Stephen King just has this way of writing that's like really, really wordy and very descriptive. And it's not for me, but I enjoy his stories. So it's this hard, like, I want to experience his stories, and his stories feel very real, I guess. Like the way he writes almost makes it feel, since he focuses on like everyday stuff sometimes, like with his writing style where he gets really wordy about like random small things, it almost makes it feel more like real life to me. So his stories feel really real. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I want to experience his stories, but the writing style, like the just never-ending descriptions of things sometimes does get to me. Yeah, that wasn't my favorite. Happy to hear it's picking up for you. I read 60 pages, 125 pages in now, and things are getting good. So many weird characters to suspect. I wish I could read as fast as you. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I would probably be reading faster if I was following along with my book and an audiobook, but I didn't buy the audiobook like early enough. So now I just want to finish reading, because if I use an Audible credit on only like 100, actually less than 100 pages, I feel like I'd be wasting my credit. So yeah. And for my library, I wasn't going to get the library book or the audiobook until like a week from now. And I want to finish this book tonight. So yeah, I would be reading faster if I could listen. I finished my walk, took a shower, and decided to keep listening to Wizard of London while knitting a tank top. That's awesome. Hi, just joined, ready for the next rounds. I read pages and wait, hold on. Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales. I don't know why I'm not reading that sentence correctly, but I hope you're enjoying that book. I switched to audiobook of Carrie, so I listened to some more of that. I'm 56% into that now. That is awesome. I need to read Carrie. It's one of his shortest books, so I feel like I could get through that pretty fast. And it's a pretty iconic book. And it's his first book, I believe, under actually Stephen King. I believe Richard Bachman, I think he wrote The Long Walk. I think is the first novel he wrote, but it was not the first novel he published. I think he wrote The Long Walk while he was still in college. I had no idea Stand By Me was based on that. Yeah, it is. They changed the name. I kind of get it. It's more like Stand By Me sounds more intriguing than The Body. Maybe. I don't know. It depends on who you are. I'm only reading this fast because I can concentrate in sprints. It's usually 20 pages while I halfway watch something. Excited to have found you and join in on Wednesdays now. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty consistent with my Wednesday sprints. I'm really loving doing them. They're so motivating. And yeah, I love sprints. I always have a really fun time getting to just block out this time on Wednesday nights to read and hang out with you all. And I'm not stopping anytime soon. So I'm really happy you're enjoying it. The whole ambiance really adds to sprints as well. I've started reading with ambiance and it just makes such a big difference. And I love trying to cater my ambiance to what I'm reading. For this one, I was trying to look, because I'm reading Ace of Spades, I was trying to look for some academic ambiance, but I decided I wanted to make the ambiance on my channel sorry, that was my bookmark. This is a loud bookmark. It's very substantial. I talked about it last week, but it's super gorgeous. These are real pressed flowers. Wow, it's distorting my face. But this is loud. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that my ambiance was different enough each week. But I have a huge list of ambiance and I'm so excited because there's so many really good ones. Last night I was listening to this underwater ambiance, which sounded really, really cool. I'm not sure how it would transfer over sprints, if it would sound as cool, but I really enjoyed it. I love thunderstorm ambiance and rain ambiance, but for today I wanted to definitely choose an ambiance that was different enough and kind of summery, since I haven't really done a summery one yet. I guess I did do camping in a tent, but it was still rain. So comment what your favorite ambiances are. For me, ambiance sounds. So for me, I love rain, I love thunderstorms, and then I love fireplace sounds. Those are probably my favorite. I like waves, but I don't know. I'm just so much more drawn to usually thunderstorms. It's a thunderstorm outside and there's a candle by me and it's so cozy. Nothing beats the coziness in my opinion. But I'll be, changing it up on here for you all. So that was a long tangent, but I appreciate it. Sorry, it was supposed to say reading. Okay. Sometimes I also just struggle to read comments because they are kind of small on my screen. Even when I make my screen bigger, still it's kind of small. Also, when I get excited or I get chatty, I like mess up words and my brain goes like a million miles a minute. And so, yeah, sometimes I'm a little chaotic. So, yeah. I decided to go back and read all of his books in publication order. That is so cool. That is so cool. Going in publication order. You should share how many books you have read by Stephen King. Getting through that hour video, still a chunk to go with details and music. Why am I doing this to myself? That's how I feel about vlogs. And like vlogs for me, my vlogs always get less views than like my sit down videos. And vlogs take so much longer to edit. Like my birthday vlog, I got out literally a month later from when I filmed it because I was just, the biggest thing for me in vlogs is to get like the audio balanced because I just film on my iPhone. And so like the volume of me talking changes so much throughout filming that I have to like stabilize the audio. So that takes so long. So I had like that whole vlog ready for so long except the audio. And I just kept putting it off. So I totally get it. And especially because like my vlogs don't get as many views. So sometimes it's like, I'm putting in all this work. Do people care about my vlogs, you know? But I still want to keep them up because I really do enjoy like being able to look back at my vlogs and see where I was at a certain point, like my thoughts about a book that are more in depth or just, they are fun to put together, but they're a ton of work. I totally get that. Ambiance while reading is my new favorite thing. I also try to find themes that match the book I'm reading. Yeah. Oh my gosh. During Summerween, I put on all these spooky ambiances and I am probably going to be putting on spooky ambiance 24/7. Which brings me to my next topic, but I'll catch up on the comments. But I'm really excited. So I've been finally having time to rewatch a bunch of my favorite horror movies. I've been talking about this for literally months, but I want to do videos about my favorite movies, and surprise, they're all horror. That may not be a surprise for people, but I'm a horror movie person. Like, I don't really watch other movies. But I was going through my list of like my favorite horror movies, and I'm in the process of rewatching them to make sure that I still want to recommend them to people because my tastes change and whatnot. But I've been rewatching scary movies, but my husband's shift is now at night. So I've been home alone until like really late at night. And for the first time in so long, I've actually felt genuinely kind of creeped out during some movies, because when you're watching a horror movie alone, at least for me, like, it's just so much scarier than when I'm watching it with someone. And usually I would watch horror movies with my husband because we would be like, movie night, let's watch a horror movie. But now I have so much time. Well, I won't have this much time normally, but right now, currently, I have a lot more time to watch horror movies. So I've been rewatching them, and I'm just like in the spooky season, like, already. I'm always in the spooky. I don't know. I love horror all year round, but I'm starting to feel super festive about horror right now. And I rewatched The Strangers, which is freaking scary. I love home invasion movies. They're like some of my favorite horror movies. I rewatched The Conjuring, like the OG original. Such a good movie. I watched Friday the 13th. I watched Scream. I want to watch The Descent soon again because The Descent is so good. Anyway, I'm going to catch up on the comments before I go off about horror too long. I could talk forever. I was reading The Maidens with a university library ambiance before I found the stream. They're my favorite, especially spooky themed ones. Yes, I almost did that ambiance tonight. I think I'm going to do that next week, like library ambiance or like a spooky one. Spooky autumn ones are my favorite. Yes, I love those so much. I like the same ones as you. Cool. Old library is definitely my favorite, with the pages turning, people walking, fire burning, sometimes key sounds. Yeah, I love that. Rainstorms 100% are my favorite. It's all I listen to while reading. Halloween spooky ones come next. Rain is just so good. I wish it could rain like all the time, honestly. Not all the time, but whenever I'm reading, I wish there was like a switch I could just flip and be like, hey, weather, can you have like a storm right now? Please, I want to feel cozy. Those are so good, Avery. Surprisingly, not very many. I just got back into reading hardcore about 3 years ago and read my first Stephen King about 2 years ago. I totally feel that. I actually only started reading like hardcore last September 2020. And then I started my channel pretty much November 2020. So yeah, it hasn't even been a year yet of me like hardcore reading. I always liked reading growing up, and I have read throughout my life. I just have never read as much as I'm reading right now. Want to say 10 to 15. That's still a lot. At first I was trying to remember what we were talking about. 10 to 15 is a lot. I cannot say I've read that many Stephen King books. Hopefully this one will get views, and I have a vlog to edit tomorrow too. Yeah, audio is meh. Thinking of buying a second camera and a real mic for quality. Yeah, right now I use this mic. It's a Shure mic, and it's a USB mic, and I pop it into my iPhone 12. But I only use this for my sit-down videos. It's too much for my vlogs, so my audio is not as good on vlogs, which irritates me. Eventually I'll be able to like invest in a camera. I can't do that right now. Obviously, I just moved. Don't have the funds for it, but yeah, I would love to get a really nice video camera soon. And I'm waiting kind of, well, maybe, oh wait, never mind. I'll wait until the next sprint to talk about this, but I'm thinking of starting a book club. So I'm very excited about that. I've been waiting kind of to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm close. I'm so close. I think I'm like 20 subscribers away from 1,000, which is so exciting for me. Yeah, I'm excited. I love The Strangers. It's so good. It's honestly so good. And I feel like I always hear people talking about how like Home Invasion is not their favorite. But I think to me why I like Home Invasion is because it genuinely freaks me out because I'm always worried about home invasion. Like that's something that's like always on my mind. And so speaking of which, my windows are like completely open and it's dark outside. So I'm going to close them in a minute when I sprint. Let me see what time it is. In 3 minutes, I'll start having a sprint again. But anyway, as I get, like the older I get, the more home invasion movies freak me out because, yeah, it's really freaky. Feels very real. My boyfriend's in Australia, so I feel like he's always on the night shift. I just started watching a horror movie basically every day again this week. Oh, I love that. Me too. I basically every day I've been watching a horror movie. OMG, I did not like The Strangers. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to lie. The first time I watched it, I was not... I don't know. I wasn't like a huge fan of it, but then I rewatched it the other night and I really, really liked it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just like I was in a different mood at the moment when I was watching it before, but I feel you. I remember always hearing people talking about The Strangers and I was like, it was okay. I didn't love it. And then, I don't know, like the other day I was just like, I love this. This is such a good movie, but it's okay that you don't like The Strangers. Horror is one of those polarizing categories where it's just like some people are going to love something, some people are going to hate it. And that's totally cool. Like, I love that. I love hearing all the different perspectives in horror. People get really gatekeepy about it, which is super weird because it's like everybody can like what they like. And I love talking about people when I disagree with like what they like in horror. It's so interesting. It's so funny because Erin and I were talking. We don't like Friday the 13th. Like I watched it actually for the first time. I only watched the original and I was just really underwhelmed. And I was like, I totally see what you're saying about Friday the 13th. I don't get the hype. It's just fun to talk about horror. Erin, I loved your video trashing horror movies. I loved it too. I love all of her videos, honestly. Erin is the best. There's a rainstorm going half the time in South Louisiana. Sometimes I'll pause my rain ambiance and realize it's actually just raining. I love that. That's funny. I didn't mean to go so hard, but it happens. Honestly, I love it. I love the fashion. It was honestly the best, even when you were trashing some of my favorite horror movies. Yeah, exactly. I just like hearing people's opinions, you know? Immersive movies like Host and Unfriended got me for some reason, even if I don't think they're technically scary, the jump scares really get to me on those. Yeah, so my whole like experience with horror has changed so much over the years. Like, oh my gosh, it's already 8:50. Well, it's not 8:50 for everyone, but I'll start the sprint. When I come back, I'll talk about ideas for my book club and then also some of my journey of like how my tastes have changed about horror movies. Hopefully that's interesting to you all. I can't wait to talk about it. I'm going to close my windows so I don't start seeing creepy masks outside my apartment and think of these strangers. So yes, I'm going to start this sprint. Hello, welcome back. I finally got to read. That was so nice. I read that whole time. I think I will be finishing this book on the next sprint. Yeah, I definitely will be. I only have a few pages left. Let me see. I only have like 22 pages, so I'm excited to finish this book. It got really, really intense, and yeah, it's ending up having a really good ending. Let me see where I left off. I think I left off here. I'm glad you don't resent me for being a hater towards some of your faves. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't resent anybody who has like a different opinion on a horror movie than me. Like, it's definitely don't. Of course not. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions on things. Yeah, I agree. I have to go eat dinner. Have fun, everyone. Thank you. I know you're probably gone, but thanks for stopping in. Bye, Erin. Makes me glad I live on the 3rd floor. Someone would have to be able to climb like Spider-Man to reach my window. Yeah, I live on the 1st floor. But when we lived in Waco, not gonna lie, like I was a little bit nervous. I would hear gunshots sometimes, and it wasn't like the best area to live in. And yeah, now we're in an apartment building, so I feel a lot more safe. But probably if I was alone in the house in Waco, I probably wouldn't be able to like watch horror movies on my own. It definitely helps that I'm in an apartment building. I feel a lot safer, and yeah, I'm in a better area now. So yes. I just got freezing. The air just kicked on. Oh my gosh. The vents in my old house were super large, and I was like, whenever I move, like my vents are going to be so much smaller. No, the vents here are ginormous, and they're on the ceiling again. So, I'm so cold. Sorry, it jumped. There we go. Glad I could make it today. Thank you for making it. 25 pages. That's awesome. I keep forgetting to track like how many pages I read in these sprints. I should start doing that. Oops. Yeah, I honestly don't know how many pages I read. I read 75 pages. That's amazing. At page 200 now, only 100 pages or 130 pages left somehow. So I can't even imagine what happens. Feels like there should be a lot more left. Dang, you're making so much progress. What are you reading? The Maidens. Are you liking it? Let me reread this now that I remember that you're reading The Maidens. Can't even imagine what happens. Yeah, a lot happens towards the end. Like it's a little bit slow in the beginning, and then like everything happens at once, and it just, the action seriously picks up. So it'll be fun to hear like your reaction to what happens. I'm thinking I want to do at least one more sprint. I may do 2 more sprints. Let me know in the comments what you all are wanting. Definitely doing 1 more sprint. So I'll finish Ace of Spades, and then I'll start my next book. I'm not sure what I will read next because there's so much on my TBR that I want to get to. Oh my gosh. If any of you all are interested, I can share. I finally was working on my bullet journal for June, and I just got this blackout journal around my birthday, so last month, and so I haven't used it very much, and I'm still kind of like learning my style with it and learning what pens work the best on it. So here's my spread for June. I don't know. It's always hard with this webcam. I finally was able to like print out, over here. Finally was able to like print out all the covers I read. I have this cute like washi tape over here. And then I used gel pens. Not sure how I feel about this bluish greenish color here. I think I may stick more to just using white gel pens. I don't know. I kind of like the look of white gel pens only. Like here's my spread right here with just white. But yeah, I don't know. It's really fun to use this blackout journal. It's just so much more inspiring to me than my old reading journal, which I still did enjoy. But I'm so excited that I got an Archer and Olive journal because it's such good quality. By the way, I saw something horrible happen to the owner of Archer and Olive. Somebody took advantage of like a glitch in the site or something, I believe, and stole like $30,000 or something of inventory, which is absolutely horrible. So yeah, send your thoughts and prayers to the owner of Archer and Olive. That's so sad. It really sucks that someone would take advantage of the company. And I think she said that the person was an ambassador. So that's even more shocking that happened. Again, I kind of skimmed the post because I just noticed it on my phone right before I went live and I forgot to check back into it. But Archer and Olive has like the prettiest journals. They're really expensive. This was like $50, but it's so large and like, I don't know, it was just so worth it. And I love how it's black. It looks so good. But yeah, I read 6 books and it's funny because 3 of them are 2 were 3 stars, 2 were 4.5 stars, and 2 were 5 stars. So it kind of like worked out evenly for my graph here. You can see, oops, here we go. Let me see, catch up. The Maidens are so bizarre. It seems like I should just know what happens now. There will have to be a major plot twist, so I hope it pays off and makes sense. The plot twist is a big one. I can't wait to hear your reaction when the plot twist happens. It's a big plot twist. Kind of comes from nowhere, or comes out of nowhere. House of Hollow is my favorite book of the year so far. Yes, it was so good. The writing, it was so lyrical. The writing was just beautiful and mesmerizing and just so stylistic. I loved it so much. And the cover is just like one of my all-time favorite covers ever. So that was a 5-star read for me. I almost cried during it. I usually don't cry in books, but I did cry at the end of Survive the Night, which probably not many people cry at the end of Survive the Night, but I definitely did. But in House of Hollow, like, oh my gosh, there's some heartbreaking stuff that happens and some moving stuff as well. So loved House of Hollow. It was so good. Wow, that's gorgeous. I love everyone's bullet journals, but I'm way too damn lazy to keep up with one. Thank you. I felt a little insecure about this bullet journal, like I said, because I'm still learning, definitely, and I'm not like good at drawing stuff. I'm definitely more like stickers, and I'm not a fan of my handwriting, but I'm figuring it out. So thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure I'll improve on my bullet journaling, but I just cannot get over it, like how gorgeous this Archer and Olive journal is. It's just absolutely stunning. And it even has like this beautiful little, what would you call this? Like bookmark thingy with the logo right here. Stunning. I'm not going to bed before I finish this video, sprint or no sprint. I feel that sometimes you just have to sit down and like go for it. Oh no, that's horrible. Yeah, it is really, really horrible. I would go check Archer and Olive's Instagram to get more information, but it's awful, especially because Archer and Olive is a small business. It's a woman-run business, which is really, really cool. And that, like, small businesses take a huge hit if that much money is stolen from them. Like, if it was like Target or something, or Amazon, it's like different because they're a huge business, but this is a small business and it really, really, really affects the owner. The plot twist is insane in The Maidens. I know. And some people were mad about the plot twist because they were like, it's just too... I don't think this is this is not spoiling, but they were just like, it's just too out of nowhere. But I liked it. I don't know. I liked it. It's a book. I can suspend reality a little bit for entertainment, you know? I'm late. I hope I didn't miss all the sprints. No, I'm going to go at least one more sprint. I'm thinking maybe 2. I'm having fun. This is a fun time. So if everybody's down to sprint for a while more, I will definitely be here. Yes, so good. Loved every minute of it. Yes, the House of Hollow and The Maidens, I think. I wasn't that interested in Survive the Night until I saw how polarizing the reviews were, and now I feel like I need to read it. My only Riley Sager so far is The Last Time I Lied, which I found entertaining. Riley Sager is my favorite author. I love Riley Sager. I have not rated a book by Riley Sager below 4 stars. If you're curious, on my channel, I have ranking all Riley Sager's books. I have a Survive the Night vlog, which I read it all in one day, which was a blast. So yeah, go check out that content if you're interested. When I talk about, I think I just called it a guide to Riley Sager. It kind of talks about maybe what you would be interested. He really uses a lot of fun tropes, and his settings are his strongest suit. I just fall right into the settings that he writes immediately. They're just so, I love Riley Sager so much. I don't care if his books are somewhat similar. Like, I don't care. They're just so good. I love them. I stan completely Riley Sager. I also have a small business on Etsy, and I cannot imagine the struggle. My worst nightmare. I know, it's horrible. We stand Riley Sager here. Yeah, seriously, I love Riley Sager so much. I've still never read a Riley Sager. I really need to get on it. You need to get on it, please. Next sprint, everyone needs to be Everybody needs to be reading a Riley Sager book. Sadly, I have read all of his books. I really wish I could re-experience Home Before Dark. That's my favorite by him, but also Lock Every Door was so good. But so was Survive the Night. And then I really still liked Final Girls and The Last Time I Lied, you know? So love me some Riley Sager. All right, I think I'm going to start the next sprint. Let me pull this up. Hello, I'm back with a cozy sweater. I'm feeling so much more comfy with this. It's just like it's such a cute cardigan. Also, I'll show you all my shirt. It says, "Long live the bookshop." It's so cute and it's really comfy, but I was freezing. So I have my cardigan. But I finished my book. I have so many updates to talk about during this sprint. But I finished my book, and it is Ace of Spades for anybody who is joining. So I think I'm going to give this an overall 3.5 star. But I do want to say I absolutely adored the ending. The ending was so good. And actually, I never ever read author's notes. Is that horrible? Do most people read them? I don't know. But I read this author's like little note, and it was just really powerful. And so I think my main issue with this book was just the length. And I think that's why it's not a 4-star read for me, just because of the length. It was just a little bit too long. I liked the story, and I was very, very engaged in the beginning and the end. It was just the middle that dragged a little bit. But yeah, that's my kind of tiny little wrap up of Ace of Spades. Let me see. I literally don't know where I left off. Where did I leave off? I think I may have left off here. A lot happened in my book, so I totally kind of I was in my headspace for my book, and then I forgot where I left off. So I'll definitely, yes, I'm definitely checking out all your content later. Most of my booktube catching up happens on the weekend. Yes, I feel that. I'm not working this weekend, which is really nice. I started my new job today, and I am so excited for this new job. It's a coffee shop job, but this coffee shop, I don't know if you all know, probably, but I worked for Magnolia. So I worked for Magnolia Press, and that's the coffee shop affiliated with Magnolia. It's at the Silos in Waco, Texas, and it was very much a touristy location. And I did enjoy it, but I really was craving like a more intimate coffee shop setting that was like local. And yeah, I just wanted to learn more about coffee and be able to connect with people better and not work at like a tourist location, but work at like a private little coffee shop. So I got hired somewhere, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to learn so much more about coffee. I'm going to learn how to make so many more drinks. And I'm really excited. So I had a good first shift today. But since I'm training, I'm not working as many hours this week and next week. So yeah, I have a lot of time this weekend, which I'm excited about. So yeah. Didn't like Home Before Dark. Not very inclined to read more. Sorry. That's okay. Like, his writing is not for everybody, and something happens, which I don't want to say, in Home Before Dark that turns a lot of people off if they don't like that kind of twist. I don't want to say what it is, because if I do, it'll kind of give a little bit away. So I understand what you mean about Home Before Dark if it didn't click for you. And that's fine. I just always stand Riley Sager. Also in terms of what I'm reading, LOL, I just started Malibu Rising last night, and I really like it so far. That's awesome. Lock Every Door is my favorite, but I wish I could read them all again for the first time. Yes, I 100% agree. Every Riley Sager reading experience is just so fun, and his books are really cozy to me, and I really want to go back and reread some. Of course, I know I won't enjoy them probably as much as the first time, because, it's not like I will know what's coming, but his books are just so they're comfort books for me, definitely. I think that's another reason why I cried when I read the ending of Survive the Night, because I was just so happy with what happened in the story. I was very pleased with the book, and I won't some of the book I was like, oh, this isn't the twist. What's going to be the twist? I'm waiting for something groundbreaking to happen. And then once it happened, I was so excited, and then something touching happened at the end, and so then I did cry. So I was just like so emotionally charged reading the new release, also because I read all Riley Sager books last year, like right in a row, and then I had to wait all the way until the end of June this year to read his latest book. So yeah. I had Lock Every Door. I can't talk. I had Lock Every Door spoiled for me, so I probably won't read that one unless I love all of his other stuff and want to read more. I'm sorry that you had Lock Every Door spoiled for you. Don't read I think it was like the dedication or something in the beginning. I didn't know like the story that it was referring to, so it was not spoiled for me, but some people say like it can be spoiled if you read what's in the front of the book. So be careful with that. If anybody is watching and has not read Lock Every Door. I don't really care a ton about spoilers usually, but for thrillers, it's different. Yeah, it is, because a lot of it's like, what is that twist? What happens? Like there's so much tension that you have from not knowing what's going on. So if you know what's going on, then it kind of defeats the purpose of a thriller, at least in my opinion. Also, yes, this comment, I forgot to talk about the book club I'm thinking of starting. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh no, I'm sorry that happened, because that makes the book for me. Yeah. Spoilers are a big no-no here, but spoilers for mystery thrillers, horror are the worst. Yeah, they really are. I only need to put music and I'm done. Still need to export and upload on YouTube, but that's a piece of cake. P.S. Don't forget to talk about your book club. Thank you. Yeah, I will in a minute. But I'm glad you were able to finish it. You look so precious and cozy. Thank you. I read 100 pages. I'm at page 300 now and still confused. Only 30 to go. Loving it though. Yeah, the maidens, like it's at the end when everything happens. I can't wait. Probably the next sprint, or for sure the next sprint, you'll totally finish your book. And then you'll probably have a lot of feelings. They may be positive or negative. You know, some people felt mixed opinions on the twist. So I finally finished Exposed and I loved it. I'm glad. I always read the author's note. English majors die hard. I love that. Yeah, the author's note in Ace of Spades was so incredibly powerful. I was like, wow. Loved the author's note. It was very, very powerful. She actually started working on it in her freshman year of college and published it her senior year of college. So that was really cool. OMG, congrats on the new job. Hopefully you'll learn to make latte art at this one. Yes, I really want to learn how to make latte art so bad. Like, I just didn't have the resources at my last job really to learn latte art, because I didn't get enough hours like actually making the coffee, because we had to change stations like every hour, and it would just get so busy on bar that you wouldn't really have time to sit there and learn latte art. And we didn't really get trained on latte art either. So yeah. Congrats on the new job. Oh, that hurts, but not everything is for everyone. Ace of Spades just made me think so much, and I think about it every day. Oh, was it my 3.5? That's still good. 3.5 is still good. But I get what you mean. I think it was a very powerful message. I think I personally rate books very much on like, could I put it down? Like the more unput downable a book is for me, like the higher I'll rate it. So just because I struggled like in the middle for some reason so much to get through it, I think that's why it's a 3.5. I'm trying to be more like strict on my ratings, because, and I recently went back and kind of like adjusted some of my ratings, like and lowered some stuff, because I realized I was like not rating things. I always felt like guilty or something rating something lower if a ton of people liked it, you know? So yeah, I'm sorry, Cammie. I really think the ending was very powerful though. And I really like the message like behind this book. Speaking of Riley, also on the author talk, he said, there, probably is the 6th book is done and turned into the editor, and that it's going to be crazy. I can't wait. I know, I'm so excited when he posted that like view or whatever of what was inspiring his 6th novel. I think it was like out, was it by like a lake or something? I'm gonna have to go back and actually look at Riley Sager's Instagram, because he posted this thing, these pictures of what, goodness, I can't talk. Hold on. I can't like talk and look for something at the same time. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but it was like shots of each location that inspired each book. And it was really cool to see. If you can go on his Instagram and look at it, I probably have it saved somewhere. Maybe I'll repost it on my story just so people can look. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. LOL, I didn't cry at all and survive the night, and I am emo. I think like most people would not cry and survive the night. I mean, I just like was super emotional. I don't know. I was also just like emotional at that time of the month, and also just like I'd been anticipating this book for so long, and I was so excited, and I was like happy with how it ended, and I just, yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Tears fell. And I've never actually cried in a book, which is like, is that weird? I don't know. It's because I read thriller and horror books, so I usually just don't cry in books. I cry in movies. I do not cry in horror movies. And honestly, I think a big reason why I like horror movies so much is I don't cry in them. Like, I just cry so hard in any movie that's like slightly emotional. That is just like unpleasant for me. Does that make sense? Like in Castaway, like if I think about the scene with Wilson, I will cry. Like I don't even have to watch that scene and I just get so freaking sad. Like, no, not Wilson. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's a big reason also why I like horror movies. Like they're just my comfort movies. I know I'm not going to cry. You know, I'm babbling on. There's a spoiler for Lock Every Door in one of the blurbs, so I knew what the twist was going to be, but it didn't bother me that much. I know. Everybody says that Lock Every Door was ruined for them, and that's so sad. That's so sad because I really did like the twist in that. There was another thing that it could have been that they hinted at that Deja and I actually talked about, that I think would have been arguably even cooler if that was what was happening. But still, I did like the twist in it. Hey, Deja, how are you? I love that you're in Waco. I'm from Northwest Louisiana. Is that? Yeah, I think Northwest Louisiana originally. And most of my family is from East Texas. So I spent time in Waco before. Surprisingly to me because it's very surprising to me because a tourist attraction. So yes, I was in Waco. I recently moved to Madison, Wisconsin. So I'm not there anymore. It was an experience being in Waco, I will say. But yeah, there are some really nice parts of Waco. I shouldn't shit on Waco too much, but I was like over Waco. I was ready to leave. A lot of it had to do with the heat. Yeah. I could go into a lot about Waco that I'm not going to go into right now. But it did definitely have some really cute spots in Waco. It became a tourist attraction. Also, I did go to Baylor, and Baylor, like I'm thankful for my education from Baylor. I was there for 6 years. So yeah, I was just kind of tired of it. It was very much of like a college town, and I was just ready to move on with my life, if that makes sense. I cry in everything. I cried in my best friend's exorcism. I still have to get to that book. Maybe I'll cry in that. Maybe. I'm off to bed. This was so much fun. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you so much for hanging out. Yes, you have a wonderful sleep, and hopefully I'll see you next week. That's so interesting, Cami. I really felt no connection to my best friend's exorcism. I just don't think I have like super strong feelings towards friendship themes. It is always interesting to see like what makes certain people cry and all of that. Okay, I'm going to talk about my probable book club. So for a long time, I've been waiting to reach 1,000 subscribers. And then I wanted to kind of start up a book club. I didn't really want to start up a book club before I hit 1,000, just because I was like, will anybody participate? I don't know. But yeah, I want to start a horror/thriller book club. And I want to do it in like the popular format where you have like a different co-host. I feel like waving this around right now. Like a different co-host every month. And I don't know if it will always be new releases, but I think I do want to kind of do newer releases for my book club. Maybe for a few months I will not. But yeah, I'm really excited. I have not thought of a name. I have not really thought of logistics a ton. But once I hit 1,000, I think I'm going to really like seriously plan for it. And yeah, I'm excited. I hope people participate. And yeah, I want to talk and read horror and thriller books. And there's a few books actually right now. I have so many things that I really need to read. One of them being It. We don't want to talk about that though, because I've been procrastinating reading it. And yeah, we're just not going to talk about that right now. But I've really been wanting to read The Apartment. The idea looks spooky apartment in Paris. Sounds interesting. Of course, I want to read The Taking of Jake Livingstone. I keep saying Stone. I guess it's Livingston. I don't know why I want to say Livingstone. I keep saying that. Also, gorgeous cover. Seriously, gorgeous cover. I cannot get over this cover. And this is a very, very short book. Well, not very, very short, but it's a smaller book, if that makes sense. And it's pretty short, so I could probably get through that pretty fast. Have been wanting to read Dead Girls for a very long time, so maybe I'll start this one now. Maybe. I also really want to read 56 Days. This looks so good, and it was my book of the month pick for this month. So here's kind of the options I'm choosing from. I think this is going to be my last sprint for tonight. And then I think I'm going to finish the horror movie, which I was watching, which is called Eel. That's French for them. And it is a home invasion horror movie. I remember really, really liking it. And now that I'm watching it again, I am not liking it as much as I remember. And it's kind of bumming me out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I just watched The Strangers and it was really scary. And so I'm watching this one and it's just not as scary in my opinion. It's not as tense. I'm not as attached to the characters. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I still want to finish that tonight though. I'm like halfway through. So I'm thinking of doing one more sprint and then calling it a night. But I think this is the longest like solo reading sprints I've ever done. So thank you all so much for hanging out. It's been really fun. Let me see. Let me catch up on the comments really quick. I think in the next like 4 minutes or less, I'm going to start the final sprint. Not me forgetting my best friend's exorcism is a book. Good night. Like, yeah, I'd cry if my best friend was exorcised too. Oh my God. Definitely finishing my book tonight, which I wasn't expecting. That's amazing that you finished it in one sitting. Yeah, I cried at the ending, and then at a certain scene, I really still need to get to that book. Yay, one more sprint. I will join with A Brave New World. All right, I think I'm going to start it now. I'm feeling like I want to start the sprint now. Who knows what I will pick up? Maybe I'll start all of them. Maybe I will not. I am not sure. We'll see what I'm ending up reading by the end of the sprint. I'll report. All right. All right. As soon as that sprint started, I got like really tired. So I kind of zoned out for a while, but I did read the first chapter of Dead Girls, and oh geez, this bookmark keeps like flying out of my book. But yeah, I read the first chapter, and it seems like it's being set up to be a really good book. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do actually is read like the first chapter of each of these books and choose like which one I'm going to read based off of how intrigued I am on the first chapter. These are all books I want to get to anyway, so I'll get to them at some point. But yeah, I've never really done that. But maybe I'll make it into a video. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll add a few other books because there's a ton of books on my TBR. But yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap up my sprints now. Let me just quick catch up on the comments. Let me know if you read during that sprint, how much you've read tonight. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. Finished. I wish I'd been shaken by the twist, but suspected something fishy about the people involved in the twist earlier. I'm glad you finished it. I'm sorry you weren't shaken, but I hope you still liked it. Let's see. Still love the atmosphere, and I definitely flew through it. Yeah, you seriously did. You read it all tonight. That's amazing. Nice. Read about 5 pages of The Dragon Republic. I'm alternating with another book because that one is just so dark. I need a break from time to time. Do what you got to do, you know? I usually consume a few books at once. I used to not do that, but I've started doing that now. And I like doing it. I like switching between books for the most part. I read the first 10 pages of The Remaking by Clay McLeod Chapman, and now I'm extremely sleepy. Yeah, I am so tired. I'm going to finish this movie and then probably go to bed. I have another shift in the morning. So it's another training shift, and training shifts, they take a lot out of you because you're trying to learn so much information. So yeah, I'm tired. Listen to more of my audiobook and updated Storygraph. I literally just updated Storygraph like the other day, and I hadn't touched it in so long. So I'm going to be better about that because I really love how the statistics are presented. I actually did it in order to know the statistics for my reading journal. So yeah. 15 pages, now ready to start my day. Great idea. Reading first chapters. I think you commented earlier about actually, oh, I missed this. I woke up an hour ago. It's 5:30 a.m. Wow. That is early. But I'm glad you read and had a good start to your day. I switched over to the audiobook of Clockwork Angel. Training is exhausting. Get some rest. Thanks for the sprints. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the sprints. See you again soon. Hope your training shift goes well. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you next week with probably some spooky ambiance. So I'm excited. Spooky or, more like gothic ambiance. Bye.